didn't have a postal code. And I was like, oh yeah, we didn't always need that. We didn't always need 10-digit phone numbers. Like, all
that's
these
a
little
lovely
things.
detail.
And then we go on Defiance and we're like, we are playing. There is so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just kids, man. We just want to play with all the toys you guys get to play with on a daily basis.
Well, we should definitely have you out. I don't know what your schedule is for the next 3 days.
I can call in sick. It's fine.
If you actually can, like, well, we should connect you guys with Mario. Like, I don't see why that couldn't happen.
What is today?
I mean,
Today's is what day? Tuesday?
yes.
Yeah.
It's still Tuesday.
What a long week. Yeah, I could totally use a day. Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. That would be cool, though.
I mean, it could even be worked out where you're like shooting in one area. We don't have to see that.
No.
Yeah.
We could just see something that we've already seen.
Yeah.
You don't even show us anything new.
Yeah. No, we wouldn't.
We wouldn't. We would, fine.
Those who do not want spoilers.
That's right. I don't want to
You
spoil it. I
shan't
just
see
wanna play with
a
stuff.
theme.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not, I would even give up, I could use my day off for working Saturday instead of taking Monday. I could Zoom, I can totally do it. I
Yeah?
can totally do it. So yeah,
I just feel like I'm coming down with something.
yeah,
So.
you don't look well.
I don't feel well.
And you also did,
I feel better in
you
space.
did an episode of CSI.
I did, yes.
See?
With Sharon Osbourne,
Yep.
who is such a sweetheart.
Oh
She was giving
man.
me advice. She was like, she's such a lovely mum and like, she's so sweet.
Oh.
She's like, oh yeah, we were talking about visas and moving to America and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was really fun. I played a, oh my god, what did I play? I played a hustler, a pool hustler.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, there was someone on set, I had like a double in doing my tricks. I was like, teach me that. And I actually got to do it, and it was pretty cool.
That's
shot,
on the
but
reel.
Of course, I didn't do it on the take. But,
Of course not.
I did it just
We
before
should go
take.
play pool together sometime.
I know. I loved
How fun
it.
would that
It was really
be?
More
fun.
importantly, just drink.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like bowling. I think I get better the more I drink, and it doesn't
Right?
work out that way. I don't know.
I don't know about everybody else's trip, but mine's going crazy, so there's that.
Ryan didn't
Captain
include me on the
Two
thing.
is
so.
still she's very excited to see how you interact with Two Boss.
Oh, who is sorry?
Captain Two.
Frank, yeah.
Captain
Frank,
Two.
yeah.
Hello, Captain
Yeah.
She's very
Two.
excited about that.
Yes.
And then,
Well, we have a shaky start.
well, that's
Can
not a
I say
surprise.
that?
Well, that's kind of
Yeah.
expected. I mean,
Yeah.
on a show that writes strong women as well
Yeah.
as Dark Matter does, there's going to be friction
Yeah.
when you get introduced.
I had a really interesting chat with someone on set the other day with regards to that phrase, strong women.
Yeah.
And I won't say who it was in case I misspeak, but he was talking about how that really detracted from saying that, writing for these strong female
Mhm.
characters. He was commenting on how these actors get their jobs because they're the best person for that part.
Totally,
And it has
yeah.
nothing to do with having to fill a quota with
Mhm.
regards to strong females. There's no
Right.
quota with regards to having a certain racial ethnicities filled.
Okay.
You know, there's certain archetypes that need to be filled, and it just so happens that it ends up being
Yeah.
a certain person. But
Which I actually dig more in.
yeah.
I'm not sure if we talked about it when, I think we did because we were talking about the casting of Dark Matter.
Mhm.
And I think one of us said, and it's something I've always felt, is that it doesn't matter who's cast as long as it's the strongest actor for the role. I
Yeah.
don't care who you are.
Storytelling
just be the
has
right
to
character.
come first at all costs. And it's like, the two characters in our show that we're actually open to both genders with regards to casting were Four and the android.
Mhm.
And it's really neat because it could have gone either way.
Right.
And specifically in the comic book, the android was a man, and we've got
The fantastic
Zoe Coleman.
Mhm.
And going back to that, I don't think there's anything wrong with mentioning that because I think it's a positive. I think what it is where I lived in London for a long time and our show reflects what you see on the street every day,
Yeah.
which is wonderful, but I think people mention it and feel the need to mention it because often a lot of television doesn't reflect
It's
everyday
true.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think it's nice to just keep it real and
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
And you don't
reflect
You
that.
don't notice, like you'll sit there and watch a show with all white characters, all white guys, and not even go
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm watching a show with all white
Yeah.
guys. until somebody points out you're
I
like,
know, I do notice it.
I do now.
I do
Yeah,
notice
like,
it.
I actually now I notice when
'Cause
I'm
it doesn't
not watching the
accurately
show with them.
represent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
I
should.
find that that's what
I
sticks
think
out
it's,
to me.
for me, it's an important thing to mention without going, because
Yeah.
I see it from both ways. Of course, of course, the right person should get the job. Of
Mhm.
course, the strong actors should be in a show like ours. That's why I feel so lucky to be on a show.
Part of me hates the whole strong female character
Yeah.
thing. So I'm like, what do you mean? Do you mean she's well written? Like, how come you never say
Yeah.
anything about a strong male character then?
Yeah.
No, you mean she's strong? Like lots of women are. Like it shouldn't
Yeah.
be like a special thing that needs to be pointed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you
She's
don't
a
have to
strong
point it out
character.
anymore, then we got to
Yeah.
where we're supposed to be.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. With regards to that whole all Caucasian casts and hiring the best actor possible, though, when there is a, across the board one kind of ethnicity being hired, and they say, oh, no, we're just hiring the best people possible. Like I find it hard to believe that
Mhm.
like it just so happens
That
that
they're all
just
white.
by coincidence that everyone is of the same background. Like that.
Huh.
That's hard
Yeah,
to believe, and
yeah.
makes me feel like people don't try hard enough, and that's obviously that's where the change has to happen, is with
Yeah.
regards to casting and having people
Yeah.
be open enough to that, and yeah.
And
Yeah, they
also
should
it's
just
very-
drop it out unless it has something specific to do with the character. Then just like take it out of the description at all. Just like look for a person.
Yeah.
It's bizarre how many times you actually see that in breakdowns,
Yeah.
though, when like I can't even tell you how many
Like
times
every Indian or Muslim or remotely Asian
Or they
guy
say
and all is
ethnic.
like a
Yeah.
Oh, I'm being
Any
submitted for,
ethnicity.
yeah, that's always very
Yeah.
And that's
interesting.
the reality.
Mhm.
Is still like that
exotic
now.
looking.
Yeah, exotic looking, and then sometimes you're like, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't
And that
know.
comes from,
I'm from here.
Yeah, right?
that
Yeah.
comes from somewhere up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Producers and
White
Yeah.
guys probably.
I don't like it.
I don't know.
Largely.
Oh yeah.
Don't like it.
But,
I like it.
Toronto's a great city. I love Toronto.
Right?
And you look around, you see people from all over the world. And I kind of live near Chinatown kind of area, and it's
Okay,
just
yep.
it's great to see all the
Yeah.
food here,
Yeah.
influences from all over the world. It's a
Love
great
Kensington.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first couple of years that I was living here, I would, just get on the streetcar or the bus and on my way to work, and I would revel in the fact that on the way you would hear at least 3 different languages that weren't English, and that there would be every culture.
I
I grew up.
Yeah,
Like, it's the
I love
same.
that.
And it's
Yeah.
just
That's kind of how I always
Yeah.
thought it was supposed to be, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we were just talking about that with the girls yesterday, the cheerleaders,
Mhm.
because this was their first. I mean, I think one has been in North America before, because she went to Texas or
Yeah.
whatever, and the other 2 never have. But just going around the city, they were like talking about like all the different neighborhoods, and they went to Kensington and stuff, and it was just like so much good. So I sent them to the distillery
yeah,
district.
just
Oh, I know
Yeah,
it down there. I
that's
went there
really
last week.
Cobblestones.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing has to be open even. You can just
Nope.
walk around down there.
Yeah.
It's so
Oh
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
It's like the Christmas festival.
right? Oh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah, it
was so
was
much fun.
big old turkey legs covered in MSG. I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
They're all, it's like caveman drumsticks. It's like huge. Yeah. Everyone's eating them. It's bizarre.
Oh yeah, so good.
mince pie.
Yeah, but then you have to like take a nap after you get it or something.
Okay.
Aww. No, it's just
What's
Captain,
happening?
Captain 2 coming in, nailing it, saying you guys nailed it with the diversity discussion and stuff like that. So,
Oh,
good
thank
job.
you.
Good
I
job.
have to send you that article she wrote. She
Yeah.
spoke very well about it.
Yeah, but yeah, I totally agree with it. I mean, I think we mentioned this before, that I grew up with Star Trek, so I just assume that that's the way
So
everything's
did
supposed to be.
my mum, that's what
Yeah.
she was.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the reboot?
Yeah, and we gotta find out. Well,
Who's
we know it's
being
shooting.
cast?
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to find out
It's
who's
shooting
being
in
cast.
Toronto.
What is
And
it?
we need to go to the show. Hi.
Yeah, we need to get on the show.
Yes,
And we need to get on the set.
I can't believe they're doing a Star Trek reboot.
Right.
That's gonna be massive.
Yeah,
Wow,
I got
that's
so
gonna be
geeked out.
huge.
I'm like, we need to find out where they're shooting.
So cool.
I will pull any and we.
It was like
we
one
must
day
know
on
people are
Facebook,
gonna
and
be
it was
in it.
like, oh my god.
Now, what do you think about how? Speaking about casting, I think
Yeah.
that more often than not these days, you see casting going younger and younger and younger, and sometimes people who are maybe. It's that suspension of reality. They are really asking a lot these days because all of these people with these huge sordid pasts often, and with these
And they're
exceptional
21.
and these exceptional skills that for most people take a lifetime to cultivate, and they're all like very good looking, and very young. And it's like, when did you have the time? How's your good looking? Like, wow.
Yeah.
You've just been dealt like an incredible hand. Now, with regards to that, Star Trek, like, would you like to see something that's more kind of the CW casting, or
No,
something that's
no,
more
it's
rooted
gotta
in
be,
reality, like
yeah.
Coronation Street vibe?
I-
You know, but like, I love, they're rooted in reality.
Well, they
Their
are.
casting
Yeah.
feels real. You're like, I
Yeah.
could go down to the
Yeah.
corner street and see that potential person.
There
Yeah.
is a it's
Yeah.
Especially with like
changing.
superiors and stuff. Like you can't just come out of school and run.
And be admirable.
That's
Be
like
the
American
boss.
television though, isn't it?
Oh,
You
yeah.
should too. Yeah.
Yes.
What I do notice about American television is the hosts and the newsreaders are all different ages, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's not fantastic, it's just, it should be, but
Yeah.
it's
I was thinking about like 90210, because they were all in their 30s and they were supposedly in high school, and then all of a sudden it's like it's
I suppose
reversed
it was
now. And it's like
popular to
everybody's got like a whole
run.
life story, and yet
Yeah.
they're like
My
20.
cousin is married to Jason.
Oh, sweet.
Seriously, who was a director on our
Yeah.
show?
Who still needs
Was
to
it
come on
that way?
our
Did you do it in
show.
season 1 as well?
No.
Okay, good. I was like, how did I miss that?
Because we bumped into him a couple times and we're like, dude, you need to come on the show.
Oh, he'd have fun.
Yeah.
Of course he would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
But yeah, no, I find that in terms of casting, British television is always, you hate to use the word more realistic, but it is more realistic. Like in all the shows. I mean, the one I kept
Yeah.
using as an example was a Doctor Who example where the woman who played Billie Piper's mom, I can't remember, I think her
She
name's
was
Camille.
great.
Yeah, and she's a fantastic actress,
Brilliant.
but she wouldn't be cast in an American show just because she doesn't fit the
Yeah.
fit the parameters of what they cast. I'm like,
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say with lots of British actresses, you know, they don't feel the need to go and get work
No.
done. You're judged upon your
The merit of your
skill,
work.
the merit of your
Yeah.
work, and you go to a casting. It's really interesting. If you, you know, if it says on the breakdown brief, you're going for someone that's, you know, having a nervous breakdown. You turn up and you don't put makeup on and do your hair. I mean, you go like the part. Whereas in America, you've always got to have a little bit of makeup and hair done. And like, I remember going to a casting and the casting director saying, "Oh, could that be cool? Maybe like
Darling, what's going on?
the hair." Just like, yeah.
I'm playing a heroin addict.
Get the hair done, and you know, yeah, like she totally told me to wear a dress and get my hair done.
Wow.
I was like, ooh, okay.
So where's that divide happening then? Like, where do we think it's happening? Because obviously these requests are coming from up above,
Yep.
where the money is, and they do all of these like what are they called, focus groups, and they find out what pulls in the most viewers.
Yeah.
So at what point did that divide happen, where the focus groups are going, I'd like to see a very good-looking person playing that doctor. I don't care if it looks like he could or could not be a doctor. I want him to be good-looking. I want her to be very
And yet
attractive.
Doogie Howser was a show based on a very young doctor.
Yeah.
So you think Canadian TV reflects American TV as well, or are you kind of somewhere in between?
I think Canadian television on the whole is probably stuck between American and British television.
Yeah.
Because it will skew younger for some of the casting and more attractive, but it doesn't cling to it like the American television system will. I mean, there's almost a nice balance between the two. It's like, yeah, Britain and America made TV sex together, and that's what they did.
They made
That's so
TV
weird
babies.
though, with regards to Canadian identity, like that we always have to, there's always a qualifying thing.
Yeah.
Even like in that moment, it was just like, oh, where is it on that
Yeah, where is
spectrum?
it? Yeah.
Like, we're not on
Which
the spectrum,
parent are we
we're
trying
on
to
someone
please in
else's
this
spectrum. But it's true,
conversation?
like it happens all the time. It
Yeah.
happens all the time with regards to everything in the creative field.
Although I think, as a whole, I think Canadian industry, like especially film and entertainment, is starting to find their identity. I think we're finally starting to claim it.
I think so
Well,
too.
you're doing a lot more here. I mean,
Yeah.
I can understand why people compare because I suppose in America they just have such a big
Volume.
Yeah.
set
Are
around
they
film
really
and
still doing that
studios.
many focus groups though?
I have no idea.
I feel like they
but
just
that
look at
comes
the
from
ratings
somewhere.
and they don't even care about like DVR and stuff like that. Like they're just kind of
Yeah,
looking at
yeah.
who's watching what when on
Yeah.
their Nielsen box.
Yeah, I don't know how that
Maybe
Nielsen
ages
stuff
and
that
I don't
works.
know. I don't
They
even
did
think it's
update that.
valid anymore.
No, it's
personally.
definitely not.
Like
I
I
think
put all
they-
this stuff online, and
I'm
they
pretty
pay
sure
attention to
they put, don't they account for all the stuff that gets DVR'd later, because we get the Nielsen numbers first.
I think they
and then
might
we get the
now,
other
yeah.
numbers later.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
think that I feel like that's pretty recent.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
otherwise, like I feel like they're not even watching the shows. They're just
Yeah.
making these decisions based on I
Yeah.
don't know
On what they like,
what they
Yeah.
thought when they woke up that morning or
Yeah.
something.
Fascinating.
Right?
Such an interesting conversation.
I know, we got really serious there.
I know, we
This
went
is so
from anal
cool.
sex to this.
Yeah.
That's like, when you think about where the conversations are, like, wow, that's amazing.
Well, I just from hopping around to different countries and you see culturally the differences, it's just fascinating.
Oh,
What's
totally.
accepted, what's okay, what's really not okay.
Yeah.
Okay there and not there. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's really interesting.
Right,
Mhm.
no, it's,
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. But I do, yeah, Canadian television's well on its way. Finally.
And then you find the stuff that's like written really, really well, and yet not enough people are watching it because there's
Oh,
like
that
no promotion
pisses me
behind it and
Oh,
stuff. And it's like
yeah.
I don't even know. I got my little 1,000 Twitter followers and I'm
Yeah.
trying to get the
Yeah.
word out, but it's not
Politics everywhere.
Show.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's so bizarre.
And it's like what the
exposed to
channel
that.
puts behind it and stuff. Like
Ah.
sometimes, like you'll see.
Oh.
I know.
I can't even. Veto, rabbit hole. This is a bad conversation.
Spice Girls, Spice Girls.
Yeah, veto. Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, do it.